feeling as I need it most. Here it is. Harry Ford has been called up from AAA Tacoma. Luke Jackson, right-handed pitcher, also brought up, as well as Leo Rivas, Seren Lau, and Donovan Solano, both one designated for assignment, and Solano released from the roster. Meanwhile, game's going on right now. Astros putting it on the Angels in the top of the ninth, 8-3. The final, or the score in that one, top of the ninth in St. Louis. A's putting it on the Cardinals 11-3 there. Cubs trailing the Braves 3-0. Finals from earlier today, the Nationals shut out the Marlins 2-0. It was the Mets over the Tigers 10-8. Reds taking out the Blue Jays 5-4. Red Sox winning over the Guardians 6-4, and the White Sox beat the Twins 6-5.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Monday. Happy Labor Day to everybody out there. If you happen to be tuning in and you're at work, we sympathize for you. We are at work as well. So we know what you're going through. We'll help you get through the days. We'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show coming up before game one of their series with the Tampa Bay Rays. Ryan Rowland-Smith will join us at 3 p.m. for his weekly conversation, so stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, Mariners salvage a game out of that dreadful series with the Cleveland Guardians, who went out there and got beat today by the Red Sox. We'll see what they look like today, but they've got some new faces. It's September, so you're allowed to expand the rosters. And, Dave, they called up Harry Ford, which a lot of our listeners have been pounding the table. Call up Harry Ford. Get him up here now. So he's up here, along with Luke Jackson, right-handed pitcher, and Leo Rivas. And then Seren Lau has been DFA'd, and Donovan Solano, Donnie Barrels, released from the roster. So
Donnie
what do you think?
Barrels.
Yeah, that hurt
was
your heart. I know you had an attachment to Donnie Barrels, but it's come to an end, Dave. The Donnie Barrels era.
Well, all these people that text in, they're so negative. I'm like, okay, let's just give Donnie Barrels a chance. Go back and look at that Chicago Cubs series. I mean, he helped him in that series. So, but yeah, I mean,
that one.
It wasn't good.
his impact was really brief. It was nice while it was there, but it wasn't. It didn't work.
Well, I'm really excited to see Harry Ford. I mean, here's a guy that was Mariners number 4 prospect. MLB Pipeline had him at number 40, drafted number 12 overall. I'm excited, but I don't know, man. The one thing you said, I remember before the trade deadline was, talking about maybe calling him up and let's get, Harry Ford up there. And it's like, okay, well, what if he comes up and he struggles? And, how long is it going to take him to get going? And then all of a sudden, any trade value that he had goes down the pipe. But of course, that didn't happen. But I'm just very curious to see what he can do at this level and if he's going to be able to help him. Do you have any feeling like one way or the other? Like I don't really expect it much from Harry Ford, in spite of his numbers, which we'll go through in Tacoma. But I'm excited for it, and I'm hoping maybe he can be a spark to kind of bring him along and help in this playoff chase.
Yeah, I don't have huge expectations, only because I don't know how they're going to use him. I mean, yeah, he can DH, and I suppose he can catch here and there, but Garver's still on the roster, and he's still the backup catcher as far as I know. Now, maybe they make an announcement of something that I'm not aware of, but to this point, he's the guy that's much more familiar with this rotation, which I think at this point of the season with 25 games to go is absolutely crucial, that those guys out there on the hill are feeling comfortable with who's behind the plate and how they're calling the game. So how much interaction they've had with Harry through spring training and the level of comfort, I do not know. So this is I'm fascinated by it. I'm interested. I'm excited for it, but I don't know how often he'll get out there and in what manner he'll be there. If it's strictly a DH or if they are going to try to put him behind the plate here and there, I don't know. I mean, it's not to me. I wouldn't throw him behind the plate personally. only because you don't want a learning curve. You don't want him trying to learn the pitchers and pitchers learning him. These games mean too much. You can't have mistakes. You can't have that level of unfamiliarity if there's, signals get crossed or, he calls the game differently than a pitcher wants to, or there's not a rhythm there. I see him being almost entirely used as a DH, and how often that'll be, I don't really know. I'm certainly rooting for him. I'm excited to see what he can do at this level, but yeah, how he'll be used and how often he gets opportunity is going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's not just at the plate if they're not DHing him. I mean, it's not just his offense that we're wondering about because, and I'm looking at Mitch Garver going, I mean, this is a guy that George Kirby totally trusts. And the other thing I would say is that kind of brings the whole MVP race into focus of how important it is, your relationship with the rotation and how you manage that. Because now you have a rookie coming up and, it doesn't, I think that's a lot to put on him, especially with this rotation where they know Cal so well and they seem to know Mitch. But you look at the relationship between Kirby and Mitch Garver. I mean, I just think there's no way he's going to want Harry Ford there. I mean, we don't know what that relationship is like. So maybe it's phenomenal. I'm not trying to be negative about it, but that part of it is very important. And, that's what we're relying on to try to get us into the playoffs and, the pitching rotation. And now all of a sudden you put a guy back there who hasn't had many reps. I think that part of it, I'm much more comfortable with him just being a DH.
Yeah. Well, he's had no reps. He's had 0 reps at the big league level in any way, whether we're talking behind the plate or at the plate. So how you want to balance, all right, let's get his feet wet. Let's get him used to what's going on. Let him develop some confidence and rhythm. Well, you just don't have that much time to play with. You don't have that many outs to sacrifice, as we saw over the weekend. This is you're losing games by 1 run. You got situations where the offense goes flat. Now maybe he can be a spark. Certainly allow for that. I don't expect it, but I certainly allow for it because I don't think it's fair to expect a kid making his debut at the big league level in a playoff push to all of a sudden be a lightning rod. It could be amazing, and I will be right there cheering him on if that's the case. But I'm not going to be disappointed or mad at him or he stinks if he goes up there and struggles because that's what rookies do. And, obviously if he gets called up earlier in the season, he's got more time to acclimate and get used to this level of ball. And I just don't know how willing, Dan is going to be into potentially sacrificing outs and saying, look, we got to get this kid in there, get him used to this level of pitching, this level of, the speed of the game, everything that's on the line, the consequence attached to everything. Is he going to be comfortable throwing him out there and saying, yeah, I'm going to run him out there a couple games consecutively just to get him used to it? Or is he going to, drop him in here and then maybe he sits for a few days and you drop him in there? And how do you expect him to develop a rhythm if that's how he's being used? So it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be, I'm sure they have a plan. I'm certain they have a plan as to how they're going to do it. I can't wait to see it because I don't know what is going to make the most sense for them in terms of not sacrificing outs, not, potentially taking a hit to the lineup because you're trying to get this kid going while at the same time trying to keep pace with those teams around you who are winning, like the Red Sox won today and the Astros are winning. And you got to keep pace. You just don't have any slack.
Yeah, it looks like the Astros are going to split that series with the Angels, but it was nice while it lasted there when the Angels were putting it on him. But yeah, I was just looking at his AAA Tacoma numbers, Bob, and 97 games, 18 doubles, 16 home runs. Saw a video of the 16th home run, which was a pretty powerful opposite field home run. He's got a ton of walks. I think he walked like 75 times. Got a 408 on base percentage. So yeah, and he just also, like, his demeanor, he seems like he's a guy that will handle it and it's not too big for him. And he just seems very calm, kind of like Cal. I mean, he's a thoughtful guy and, it's not like he doesn't have a lot of words, but he seems pretty quiet and just kind of takes it in. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting though to see that, because I think people have been talking about Harry Ford that, for a long time, and that he's a pretty special prospect.
Yeah, and the other thing I know that our listeners want to hear, He's a really nice guy.
Man, you had me on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me there.
He's a very
You're going to
nice
come with a
kid.
stat.
No, that's the most important stat, the good guy stat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's, like, you guys can text in 866-979-3776. How you feeling about Harry Ford being called up? What are your realistic expectations? Again, it's a world of difference from, playing in AAA Tacoma versus playing here. And again, the pressure that's on each and every one of these games. Yeah. You're going to feel it. They know what's going on. Joe in Bellevue says, with Garver, you're guaranteeing sacrificing outs on offense. He can play well on offense before opposing pitchers get used to him. I guess he's talking about Ford there. Yeah, this is not me being negative and, he's going to come up here and be terrible. I'm trying to keep expectations realistic. And more importantly, I want this rotation to function at their top level, at their optimum level. And if that means Mitch Garver is behind the plate because they're more comfortable with him, then that's what needs to happen. That's the priority. Harry Ford's development is not the priority right now. With 25 games to go, sorry, it's not. Your priority is the comfort of those guys on the hill. And if I don't care which one of them it is, if Luis is saying, look, I need Cal or Garver, or if Kirby's saying I want Cal or Garver, then that's how it has to be. The end. So if Harry Ford sits, then he sits. And I'm okay with that. But if they're cool with him and they feel all right throwing to him and they like how he calls a game, okay, I'll go with it.
The 206 says Joe Schmagagi's a really nice guy, too. So,
That's right.
Yeah. But, yeah, and then somebody else warning, be wary of those AAA numbers. Oh, we're weary. No question about it. But, or wary, I think he put weary. But, yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into, making that jump. So, and then, a very important position if you decide not to DH him, right? I mean, catcher, we know how.
Yeah, well, that's the other part is if you're DHing Harry Ford, right? So he's your DH. What are you doing with Polanco? Does Polanco immediately go to second base and then Cole Young has a seat? Which, okay, if that's the case, so be it. Cole Young is not tearing it up right now, so if that's the case, I can live with it. But you're going to sacrifice some defense at second base if that's the case, game in, game out. So I think Dan's got to toy around with this lineup and see how do I get the most productive bats in there while not sacrificing defense, and also give Harry Ford a shot here and see what he can do. It's going to be interesting.
Yep.
I like this. 206 says times are dark when Dave is our grammar expert.
I got to be average. I got to be average in college.
Mean text coming in on a Monday, on a holiday, no less.
Yeah, jeez. Give me a break.
That's solid. But, yeah, so I think we're all excited and curious. I'm curious. I don't have a hardcore feeling one way or the other about what's going to happen until we get a chance to see how they use them, what their plan is for them. So it's going to be interesting. But where are you at after this series with the Guardians? Where's your confidence level that because as you might imagine, Dave, if you look at social media, as soon as they lost that second game, it seemed like every response, I sent out a tweet basically saying ugly loss to say the least, or whatever, something benign. And immediately it was, this is not a playoff team. They're not going to make it to the play. I told you they weren't going to like it was done. Like that sealed their fate and they're no longer going to be a playoff team. They're still the third wild card as we sit here. So they are a playoff team, despite how bad that series felt. But did your confidence take a hit? 25 games left to go, and we've seen them struggle on the road. They got 12 road games, 13 home games. Scale of 1 to 10, Dave. Where's your confidence level?
It's probably 7.5. I mean, I'm relatively sure they're gonna get in, but I don't think it's gonna be the division. I don't know. Houston, they have the dark arts working for them, Bob. They're evil. But
they got some voodoo.
Yeah. So, I mean, that just looks harder and harder, but you're up 2.5 games on the Rangers. Royals are 3 games back as far as that last wild card position. And I think that's how they're going to get in. But, Yeah, I mean, I'm still very confident. It was a bummer, especially in that the first game. I think by far, I mean, we were texting back and forth, and I was kind of behind, and all of a sudden, I saw some negative comments from you, Bob, and I was like, "Oh no, what's happening here? What's happening in the future?"
I didn't know you were behind.
Well, it's my fault. So nobody has to. I had a good buddy that you'd be like, "Don't tell me, don't tell me." Oh, why'd you do that? I'm like, "Come on, man, we can't sit there and, you know." work around you in this situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just very frustrating, and it was very unlike the Mariners. I mean, you got a great start, and then Brash and Munoz, and that was the first thing you texted. You were like, Brash is all over the place, and I'm like, oh no. But yeah, I mean, typically that's a win when you go 7 and have those two come in, Brash and Munoz.
Yeah, that was a huge bummer because we were all curious / slightly concerned about the rotation on the road and how different they were. And all right, let's see what they look like. Well, Kirby goes out there and looks like Kirby. He gives you 7 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, 6 strikeouts, and no walks. That's George Kirby. That's a quality start. And then Brash and Munoz just come out and blow it. They were both bad. And they give up 3 runs in an inning and a third and lose the game. That was a gut punch. I mean, you just can't kick wins like that. You got to win in the bag. You just can't kick it like that. And that one hurt. And then, so the upside is all of your starters gave you a quality start. You got a quality start out of each one. Kirby, 7 innings, 2 runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He was great. Gilbert wasn't super sharp, but he still gave you a quality start. That's what great players do. When they're not on their A game, they find a way. And he gave you 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 93 pitches, quality start. And then Ferguson comes in, gives up a run in the 7th. Kwan makes that ridiculous catch in the outfield that would have scored a run. Naylor, you remember that catch? Naylor drives one into the gap, and here comes Stephen Kwan just flying across the field in a diving catch that absolutely saved a run. And then the offense just gets shut down in that game. 5 total hits, 12 strikeouts. But you got a quality start. There's the silver lining. And then Miller, a great start for him. We've been wondering, when can he get back to being Bryce Miller? He gives you 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk on 72 pitches. And then the bullpen looked like the bullpen we're used to. Spire, Brash, and Munoz combined for 3 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. That was great.
Yeah. I just don't know what to think about. I mean, the most confusing thing is that the first game on Friday with Kirby and that outing, because he had a similar outing against the Angels, and then Brash and Munoz came in and nailed it down. And I think in that game, he had like 12 or maybe 14 strikeouts. Kirby did.
Yeah, he had 14 against the Angels.
And it was just like so perfect. I'm like, okay, if they can get to the playoffs and have, this kind of a game where, you can count on Brash and Munoz to come in. So I don't know, maybe that's their one, right? Maybe they, the one where they just don't, we won't see that again. But it was just like, that was the most disappointing part where I was like, okay, this is probably going to be a disappointing series, which it is, it has been. But I mean, I'm still confident, and like I said, still 7.5 out of 10 that they're going to make it to the playoffs. How about you?
I'm probably right there with you. I would say 7. I'm at a 7. I still think they're going to make it, and whether it's division or wild card, we'll see. But they just, again, it's frustrating if you go out there and they get beat. Okay, still hate it, still stinks. It's just when you got to win in the bag and you've shut them down, and your pitcher goes out there and shoves the way Kirby did. And then the bullpen comes in, and the guys you count on most, and they're not perfect. All these guys are going to have those moments. But the fact that they both had their moments in the same game, it just that one killed me. And we talked about Munoz. We talked about his whip being the highest it's been all season, that he's got pretty consistent traffic out there. And then that happened. You're like, oh, geez. So yesterday was great to see. It was great to see Spire, Brash, Munoz go 3 scoreless, no hits, no walks, no runs, and strike out 5. That looked like what we're used to and what you expect. And more importantly, what needs to happen, what they need to be. Because, again, no slack. And then quickly, it was, as we said, great to see Bryce Miller look more like Bryce Miller. Dan Wilson talking about how he was able to have that kind of success against that lineup.
By being aggressive in the zone and forcing him to swing early. He has, the good stuff and looked like a good splitter again today. And they don't want to get to that, so they swing early. And, locating the fastball is what it's all about, and then being able to use the secondary stuff after that. And, again, I thought he just was in control, a really good ball game for him. And, he still had a ways to go, but, the way that the lead changed, it was time to go to the bullpen. And another great outing for Bryce.
Yep. Yeah, great to see. So that the rotation made me feel better. The results did not, though. So
yeah, but I mean the Bryce Miller. I mean we've been waiting for that for a long time, right? And so hopefully it's the Bryce Miller we see.
That was really good to see, and hopefully that's more of what we see in these remaining few games that are left. All right, let's take two.
Interesting move today for the Seahawks. They've signed safety D'Anthony Bell to the practice squad and released Satoa Lamea. So he goes from starting the final 6 games of last season to now not even on the roster.
Yeah, it really speaks to the fact that this is a much different scheme that they're running and who can and can't fit in to this one. Because, he was a 6th-round draft choice last year, but you just see the difference now. And, and I asked in the very beginning, I'm like, do you have the guys here to run this offense? And they said yes, who I was talking to. So, but yeah, and then I think D'Anthony Bell, I believe, is one of those guys that can also play in some of the big, packages as far as, being like a linebacker almost. They can use him in the box. So, but yeah, it was kind of shocking with Lamea going, just because he looked pretty good. And I remember in that game against Arizona last year, I keep referencing that game because it was the one time they could run the ball. They ran for 175 yards, and Lamea looked great, but just doesn't work in this scheme apparently.
First big opening weekend of college football on Saturday saw the state teams have some trouble. The Huskies were tied with Colorado State at halftime, pulled away in the second half for the 38-21 win, and then the Cougs needed a field goal with 3 seconds left to get past Idaho 13-10.
Yeah, I watched both these games, Dave, and UW was interesting because of being tied. I don't know what they expect. Colorado State was a bowl team last year. They won 8 games. I don't know how good they are and what kind of test that truly was, but it seemed like UW found their footing in the second half and had a couple of Jonah Coleman looked outstanding. 24 carries, 177 yards, 2 touchdowns. Damon Williams Jr., 18-24, 226 yards and a TD, had 68 rushing yards. The offense, 513 yards. So they looked dominant. The Coug game was a harder, tougher watch. It was a bit dull. And I don't have a preference between Cougs and Huskies, so don't freak out, Coug fans. It was a tough watch, man. It was a kind of a dud game. They won. That's all that matters. But yeah, UW in that second half looked like, all right, there's something there, and they got some special players.
Well, if you want to rile them up, Bob, just tell them you're an Oregon Duck fan. And,
that'll
do it.
Tell them we love those new Seahawks unis that look like the Ducks.
That's
Everybody's flipping out over those.
Yeah, but good balance, and they ran the ball 50 times, and that's always good. But 287 yards rushing. That was a really good performance by the ground game, anyway.
Yeah, that was huge. That was a big day for them. All right, Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. It is officially week 1 for the Seahawks. We'll dive into the biggest questions we have heading into the opener against the 49ers. That is coming your way next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Historic Cal. Are you buying it? You like that?
Historic Cal. Brock and Salk.
It sounds too much like Dangerous. That's my problem.
Morning 6 to 10.
Can you get to 54 to tie Mickey Mantle or pass him at 55 for switch hitting home runs in a season? Can you get to 56 or 57 to tie or pass Junior?
For me, it would be Griffey. Hitting in the Kingdome for those years, a totally different era from pitching. I think even Ken would go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Only on Seattle Sports.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here. I want to tell you about one of the best decisions I've made in a really long time, maybe ever. And that's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That is Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. So you had King LASIK plus K2 Vision. That equals freedom vision. Freedom for every stage of life. Freedom from glasses, contacts, readers, and more importantly, cataracts. Now, if you're somebody like me that struggled with reading small print, I couldn't read receipts, I couldn't read restaurant menus, just anything, like even text on my phone. I had to have readers by my side at all times or I would struggle. Or maybe you got distance vision problems. Whatever it is, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top: you'll never develop a cataract. That's the beauty of it. Again, I can see things I couldn't see before. I can go into a restaurant and not worry about having readers with me. It's a beautiful thing. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors out there with all of the experience and data to recommend the very best procedure for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today. K2VisionRLE.com. K2VisionRLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. Again, that's K2VisionRLE.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with zero investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, two-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
With Progressive, it's easy to reach customer service with our app, website, chat, or by phone. Because when getting help is hard, it's not help at all.
A little help. A little help over here.
Thank you for calling Bench Press Assistance.
What?
Due to excessive gym volume, all available spotters are currently lifting heavy weights off the chests of other bench pressers.
Seriously?
Please continue to hold, and we will remove the barbell from your chest in the order in which your cry for help was received.
Getting assistance should be easy. With Progressive, it is. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Coming up at 3 o'clock, Ryan Rowland-Smith will join us for his weekly conversation. We'll turn you over to the Mariners pregame show at 3:30, so stay tuned for that. For those of you that are out there listening and working on this Labor Day, we appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you're having a great day out there. Meanwhile, it is week one. We are officially in week one of the regular season of the NFL. Seahawks will be in action this coming weekend against the San Francisco 49ers, and Trey Brown and MVS will be out there. They have now become the enemy.
Do you know, Bob, they are looking for their fourth in a row. They're looking for their fourth win in Seattle in a row. The
Niners?
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, I'd forgotten about it. Yeah, we lost in 22, 23, 24. So, yeah.
I can't stand that team. I don't have the same level of dislike that I did when it was the glory days with Crabtree and Harbaugh and Kaepernick and on Vernon Davis and all those guys, but it's still there. These guys, you saying that, I was just like, really, those sons of.
Well, and I keep having to ask this question again. We were 3-6 at home, right, last year?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Way to find out.
We really need to see that home field advantage return, because it's not just been one season. We went through this where it's been multiple years. Even back to Pete Carroll, it was fading in terms of home field advantage. It was definitely fading. So
and the Niners have certainly added to that with their three-year win streak up here. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, 3-6 last year at home. That's brutal. Yeah. That's brutal, and you're a 10-win team.
Yeah.
They were 7-1 on the road last year. It's
fantastic.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I love that. But come on, 3-6 at home. Goodness.
Well, and that's what we've talked a lot about. The other teams, filling up the stadium, and like Dave Pearson said, got to win them back.
Yeah, he's right. 100% right. You got to give them a reason to be excited about it. So yeah, it's and hopefully it's this year with everything that's new that'll sort of reinvigorate the fan base and get them. They're certainly curious. I don't know if they're optimistic or confident where Seahawks fans are about this season. You and I are. You and I both predicted double-digit wins. What was your final number, by the way? Do you remember?
I think it was 11-6 is what I came up with, because I had Moyer in shortly after that, and he was like, "This is a 12-win team." I was like, "Whoa, okay."
Did he tell you?
Yeah,
no, that's
no, it's not 11, Dave. It's 12. 12 wins. All right.
Well, we both predicted double-digit wins. I can't remember if I went with 10 or 11, but I've got them winning double digits, and you and I gave our 5 reasons why we think they'll be a playoff team. Now, this is barring any significant injuries, obviously, but what's your biggest question mark, curiosity, before this season starts?
Yeah, it's a good question, just because I think, have to see it at center and right guard. And I still think that's the biggest question mark. And there were a few other ones. And where are you with Reek Woolen? I mean, that's another one. I think he proved that, he is going to be a good, solid, more consistent player. But I don't know, we didn't see a whole lot from him. So I think the center and the right guard is definitely a question mark. I'm not being negative. I'm just like, you still want to see it, and you want to see it in something other than a preseason game. So, and then, and I think probably keep my eye on Reek Woolen, but one of the things Mike wrote down here with Tyrese Knight, is he going to be ready for week 1? And if not, I'm not so sure about this inside linebacker group. So, I would like it if they brought up Patty O. I mean, I thought he had the best preseason, but that's another question mark. And at first I was like, going into camp, I was like, yeah, the depth at inside backer doesn't, blow my skirt up. But then you go and have that, tremendous season I thought that Patrick O'Connell had, and then they end up cutting him. They got him back on the practice squad, but yeah, so now I feel like, inside backer, not those two guys, not Tyrese and EJ. I mean, those two guys are solid as can be, but if Tyrese Knight is not ready, I'm not going to feel great about the depth.
Yeah, to me, those are all legit. And Reek Woolen, we've talked about that being in a contract year, and we've seen what he's capable of and how good he can truly be. And his problem is just consistency. It's not ability. It's his, can he just be that guy game in, game out, much like Anthony Bradford? We've had the same question. So
exactly.
If he doesn't do it in a year like this, he's never going to do it. This is you're playing for your big deal. You're playing for your security in this league. It's right there for you, whether it's with this team or whether you're putting it on tape for a team that's going to pay you after the season. But this is your audition. And if that isn't providing enough of a sense of urgency for you, then it's probably not going to get there. So, yeah, that's huge for him. That's huge for K9, all these guys that are in contract years. I can't get past the chalk, though, Dave. My biggest question is still Sam Darnold. I mean, it's I'm fascinated. I don't know what we're going to get. Last year was such a shock, and I still think it's funny that we spent so much time talking about him long before he was ever even a potential thought for this team, because we thought you got Geno, you're going to re-sign Geno, and Sam Darnold was just an interesting element of the NFL season that we talked a lot about, and all of a sudden he's the quarterback here. We still have, or at least I do, the same questions as to what version is he going to be. What is he going to be, that guy that for the majority of the season last year looked like one of the best in the league, or is he going to look like the guy that the 6 years previous to that and the few games at the end of the season last year looked like the old Sam Darnold? So I know it's a chalky answer, but that's the biggest question for me.
Yeah, well, what you're hoping for is what he did to us last year.
Yeah.
Came in here and threw 3 touchdowns and no interceptions and threw for about 250 yards in that game. So, yeah, I mean, he came in and killed us. But, I think quarterback is that's fair. I mean, I think for a lot of people, you didn't see a whole lot of him in the preseason. And then, there was some criticism of, some of the interceptions that he threw in the, whether it's a walkthrough or a 7-on-7 or whatever, and people were kind of panicking, and that, and look, that goes along. That's familiar territory for fans when, your quarterback is a question mark. So, yeah, I mean, that's still fair. I wonder what kind of game he's going to have, because let's say they come out and just run the ball down the Niners' throats, and, he throws 12 passes or 15 passes or something. Maybe he goes, 8 for 15 or 10 for 15 or whatever. And, does he really answer the question? Yeah, I don't know. So I'm wondering what it's going to take to kind of win fans over. And then the other thing is, Bob, is that, you look at his career, you look at the first 15 games of last year, and then you look at the last 2. So it might take a while for Seahawks fans to trust Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and that's why I love what we've seen from Kubiak. And again, I understand keeping it in context. It's preseason, so we don't entirely have an idea of what it's going to look like. But just the emphasis on the run, the success they had with the running game, and hopefully they can duplicate that to a certain extent. They're not going to pile up the yardage they did in preseason, but if they can be a successful running team where they can really lean on that until Sam starts to find his rhythm, if he doesn't come out of the gates fast and it's, takes some getting used to and all of that, then that's a nice luxury to have an effective run game to where, hey, you don't have to pass us to victory. We got this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Getting back to the inside backer. Sorry, Bob. The 425 says Drake Thomas is a better linebacker than Patio. I disagree. Sorry.
Dave, you don't know ball.
Yeah. And somebody else texting in about Donnie Barrels is gone, Dave. In all caps. We must mourn.
It sure would be nice if some of these guys you backed up would help you. You know, Dylan Moore and Donnie Barrels, you go to bat for them, so to speak, with no pun intended, and they let you down. They don't
I like the underdogs.
Cody Barton, these guys aren't helping you.
No, you're right. I'll have to get after him next time I see him.
All right, 2 key pieces for the Mariners might be starting to wear down a bit. We'll get into that conversation coming up next with Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Jordan Schusterman every Wednesday morning at 11 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports.
What's your optimism when it comes to guys with the ball in their hand, the pitchers on the mound?
You're on it in terms of what is the biggest concern. You now have an offense that can come back, and so it feels a little bit more frustrating to maybe use your lower leverage guys in games where you feel like you're back in it, but at the same time, you understand that you can't just throw Brash and Munoz every day, and even if you do, it's not always going to work out that easily.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
I've been taking advantage of this weather. I've been riding a ton. I was riding all over the weekend and had a close call over the weekend. Somebody, once again, changing lanes without realizing I was next to him, and that seems to be the most common occurrence for me anyway, being out there on the bike. So a crash is pretty easy to understand, and with some, they say it's inevitable. But look, if you're a rider out there on a motorcycle and you're somebody that's been injured in a motorcycle crash and you're talking to law firms, don't settle for a firm that tells you that they're motorcycle lawyers. You got to trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. You see them everywhere. They've been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide, and they are there when you need them most. 24/7, 365 days a year, because riders deserve real support when they are in need. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. Now, you see them everywhere. You see them out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. They're out there at all the events. You see the tents, the vans, certainly the billboards everywhere. Law Tigers are always by your side. And even better, your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. So they don't get paid until you get paid. They're going to help you get your bike and your gear repaired or replaced. They know how important that stuff is to you. So Law Tigers are there with you. You never ride alone with Law Tigers. Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit DanielNelsonMD.com. That's DanielNelsonMD.com.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Coming up at 3 o'clock, Ryan Rowland-Smith will join us on the program. Stay tuned for our weekly conversation with Ryan. Always great stuff with him. Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Can weigh in on the Mariners. Got the Seahawks' first game of the season coming up this Sunday against the San Francisco 49ers. Whatever's on your mind, it's there for you. Meanwhile, a couple of players to keep an eye on here, Dave, and one we've been talking about all year for great reasons. That's Cal Raleigh, just a brilliant season to say the very least. But we've seen some stretches as of late here in the second half where we saw him go, I think it was an 0 for 19, and then he had a couple games in a row where he hit home runs, and now he's in a 1 for 18 slump where he's got one hit in that time. Obviously, it's a home run. So he's got 1 RBI, 7 strikeouts. In just the month of August, a $173 with a 308 on base, 449 slug. Not what we've seen him do at all this year. So it's kind of, I feel like we're kind of seeing what we sort of talked about with that position. You wear down. It's to be expected, you know, and I'm wondering if that's what we're seeing. If these numbers represent, you know, the toll of the season for Cal, or is he just feeling the pressure of A, chasing a playoff spot, B, MVP? I'm sure it's as much as he's a guy that doesn't seem to let it get to him. Maybe it is in the back of his mind, and maybe he is pushing and trying too hard. But we've seen him struggling through the month of August, and then Luis Castillo's got to get it turned around. He's given up 14 earned runs in his last 3 starts combined. He's had one good start in the month of August where he's got a 6.66 ERA for that month. This is where everybody, not just Luis, but everybody's got to, you got to be on your A game as much as you can, and that there's fatigue for those guys too, obviously. So I don't know if we're seeing fatigue with Cal based on his position. Maybe we're seeing an older pitcher, the oldest pitcher in the rotation, wear down a bit. I'm not sure what's going on with Castillo in the month of August, specifically over the last 3 starts, but how are you feeling about those two?
Well, yeah, which one am I more worried about? It's definitely Luis Castillo. Just because he's 32 and you mentioned it. I mean, good news is because he's starting tonight, but the last good game that he pitched, 7 innings, you mentioned it, and 2 earned runs back on August 8th was against Tampa Bay. So yeah, I mean, that's the one. This is going to be very, I don't know, I don't want to say critical, but if he goes out and has a game like, the 4-inning, 3 earned runs where he threw 88 pitches like he did against Philadelphia, it's going to be bad news. But with Cal, yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit worried, but I'm looking at those numbers going, like you said, 1 for 18. And I'm like, I think he's due. I think Cal, he doesn't seem to be, especially not anything mental. I don't think it's that he's pushing or that he's, the MVP race. I don't think any of that registers with him. We've heard enough from him where he's just like, we want to go to the playoffs. We want to win. That's all he cares about. So if I'm going to make a I think he's going to get a home run tonight. I think it's time for him to get going. He's batting .240 right now. He's stuck at 50 with the home runs, but I don't know. It just seems like every time we worry about him, and it's like a little mini slump, he finds his way out of it. So I think he's probably as strong psychologically, mentally as any player in the league. I don't think that's ever going to bother him. And I don't know. Have we seen him? Does he look like he's, got some problems, some things that are bothering him, whether it's his thumb or whatever? I mean, it doesn't seem like he hasn't been on any kind of an injury report or anything. So I don't know. I don't think he's wearing down, but especially the mental side of it, I don't think that's going to be a problem for him ever in his career. But I am worried about Castillo.
Yeah, as far as Cal, look, who knows if he's got injuries? I'm sure he's banged up, right? I mean, does he have a major injury? I sincerely doubt that, but he might have a ton of different aches and, my ankle, my knee, my back, my this, my that. I mean, there could be a lot of things going on that we don't necessarily see, and you're not going to necessarily see him reaching down, grabbing his knee or grabbing his back or whatever. But what it does is he could be up there compensating. He could be up there, hey, maybe his his swing is a little slower than it was earlier in the season, and he's trying to cheat a bit, or he's trying to alter his mechanics to adjust for, a cranky back or some, what I mean? So maybe it's not serious, but it's enough to impact mechanics. And that's what I mean more about wearing down, that, some of these things catch up with you. I mean, it's just, It's such a demanding physical position. And while it may not be like the thumb and the torn ligament where it's a major injury he's dealing with, guy could just be waking up every morning just going, oh my goodness, I feel like I'm 90 years old and it takes me a long time to get going. And, maybe it slows the bat just a touch and he starts chasing or he starts trying to cheat a bit, like I said. So I don't really know. It's more of a guess with him when you're just looking at, all right, what's going on with these numbers, him hitting $173 for the month. That's terrible. Obviously that's not good for anybody, but is there a reason behind it? Or is it, hey, it's a slump, he's going to be fine. Castillo, yeah, that's crucial, man. You got to have all of these guys. You need him. He doesn't have to be Castillo of old. That'd be great. I don't know that he can be that guy, but if he just give us a quality to give the team a chance to win, just keep the team in the game and don't crush the bullpen. That's I'm sort of lowering the bar a bit for all of these guys. Just if you could give them 6 and 3, and I know that I make it sound easy, but 6 innings, 3 runs, you're keeping the team in the game and you're not killing your bullpen. If he gives us that tonight, that's a good start from Castillo. I'll take it and I'll celebrate it. And then it's up to the offense to back him up and the bullpen, obviously. But you need, to have the 4 inning starts he's had, 3 in a row. And then I think the first one of August was like 4 1/3 or 4 2/3. You can't have it. You can't be that guy. You got to be better. You're the highest paid player on this team. You're the one with the biggest resume, the biggest history of success and being a dominant pitcher. You got to be that guy. The end.
Yeah. The end. There you go.
Yeah.
I wonder if Cal is doing this. Late in my career when I got to Denver, I used to, after every double-day practice, get into an ice bath, like up to my neck.
Yeah.
And And once your nuts freeze, then, the pain's over. And that part's painful. But, oh, my God, it was like miracle for me.
How long would you stay in there?
I think it was like 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
At about
just
5
takes your breath
minutes.
away stepping in, though, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's just
It's like such a mental challenge. Like you have to, get in there, and then just that first few minutes until things freeze. I wonder if he's doing that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I'm sure he's doing whatever it's going to take. He's a guy that's going to turn over every stone. There'll be no stone left unturned for him.
right.
I know that. Meanwhile, we'll see what Ryan Roland-Smith thinks about Castillo and what he's seen from him, what he thinks is going on with Cal and everything else. Ryan Roland-Smith joins us next for his weekly conversation. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Historic Cal. Are you buying it? You like that? Historic
Cal. Brock and Salk.
It sounds too much like Dangerous. That's my problem.
Morning 6 to 10.
Can you get to 54 to tie Mickey Mantle or pass him at 55 for switch hitting home runs in a season? Can you get to 56 or 57 to tie or pass Junior?
For me, it would be Griffey. Hitting in the Kingdome for those years, a totally different era from pitching. I think even Ken would go, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Only on Seattle Sports.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. It was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, pcfgroup.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Roland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. Salt, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK
Plus, K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data, except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners get back to it today. Game 1 of their series with the Tampa Bay Rays. They send Luis Castillo to the hill in a game. Hopefully he gets a little bounce back from his previous 3 starts. They need him in this series as teams around them continue to win. We'll turn you over to the pregame show coming up at 3:30, 4:35 first pitch right here, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, the Mariners made some roster moves. They called up Harry Ford, Luke Jackson, and Leo Rivas from AAA Tacoma. Seren Lau has been DFA'd. Donovan Solano released from the roster.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
I actually talked about it on You Betcha on the podcast.
He is an unrivaled source of baseball knowledge.
Anyway, what were we talking about?
A guy who always has your back.
Pants back on, try and make the uniform look sweet in a split second. Come out, and I'm trying to open the door. I'm like, what the? And I said, listen, buddy, put your babysitting shoes on because Dad's going out for Father's Day. You got to watch Top Gun. You guys don't listen when I speak. I'm talking to a brick wall right now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith, every week with Wyman and Bob.
That's the open right there.
He's here, everybody. We look forward to this each and every week. Such a great conversation with a man who knows a thing or two about this game of baseball. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. He is Ryan Rowland-Smith. How are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Super. You know, it wasn't a great series. Thankfully, they were able to scratch out a win, but you know, disappointing to see the bullpen blow a win the way that they did. And you know, the silver lining to that series we were talking about, Ryan, is that each of the pitchers gave you a quality start, and they gave you a chance to win, which was great to see because we had talked about their struggles on the road. But Kirby, 7 innings, 2 runs. Gilbert, 6 innings, 3 runs. Miller, 6 innings, 2 runs. So that part of it was really, you know, that was a reason to be optimistic. What was your takeaway from that series?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, the pitching, we saw that really bad turn, worst turn in the rotation when the projected rotation was back, and it was a little bit concerning. The guy who's pitching tonight, a lot rides on him right now, Luis Castillo against the Rays. But, you know, seeing Kirby, seeing Logan Gilbert, and, of course, Bryce Miller, man, to do it on the road as well, that's been a big struggle for this team on offense, defense, pitching, whatever it is. Every facet on the road, it's been very interesting. So, really good to see the rotation get deeper into games, do it on the road, bounce back and double up on some of these outings. And then, of course, see Bryce Miller just look way different, look confident, and look like he was executing pitches, look like he had that finish to that split. He threw a bunch of splits yesterday, was really comfortable with that pitch. So that's a huge sign. And again, you mentioned the bullpen blowing that game. I was looking back and look there, when you look at I think it was July and August, I just didn't have it right in front of me here, but the last 2 months, they're like, they're hovering around bottom 5 to bottom 10 in regards to ERA, the bullpen. However, when they're given the lead, they're in top 5 in regards to preserving the lead, like holding on to that lead. So it's just a matter of what that tells me. A couple things. Number one, offensively, this team has just kind of not done a whole lot outside of the home run. That's for sure. Offensively in this last month, especially August after the trade deadline. And number two, it just tells you that if that rotation, like we saw, can get a little deeper into these games, the good things should happen. So there's enough there, but man, it's going to be an interesting month. It just keeps winding down the amount of games, and it just keeps getting tougher and tougher. And hey, look, if I looked at this yesterday, if the Astros play 500 baseball, which they have been, they've basically been around 500 baseball. The Mariners literally have to win pretty much every series until the end of the year to win the AL West. And again, I know there's a wild card, I get that. But to win the West, which you look back and go, it would be disappointing for this level of talent to not win the AL West, especially with what the Houston are doing. And just with this roster they've got, how they've gone all in offensively. But man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a really tough month to get there because the days just keep winding down.
Yeah, and as much as we worry about Castillo, that outing by Bryce Miller, and you probably know this as it probably happened to you as far as something clicking, and how important was that for Bryce Miller to have that kind of outing? Do you think he's one of those guys that like I said, that just it clicks for him and he never looks back? What were kind of your experiences as far as that goes, where you're like, you have an outing where it's like, oh, that's it, man?
Okay, well, we'll factor these things in. It's a really good point, right? So factor a couple things in with Bryce Miller. He has literally, 4 starts left. So you have that mindset where he's at now, coming off the IL, where there is that sense of urgency, and 2 things can happen. Number one, you can try and make up for lost time. Don't do that. That's a bad move, because what's going to happen is you're going to try and punch out 10 every single time out. Instead, if you're Bryce Miller, you should just literally empty the tank, regardless of what you've dealt with injury-wise. Empty the tank and then deal with it after this team's had a postseason run. Have a chance to essentially have a mini audition to be a big factor in the postseason and finish the regular season in 2025 with something to take into your next year, because it's been a lost year. It really has. But if you let that play on your mind. Number two, he's facing the Cleveland Guardians. Nothing against the Guardians, but they do swing a ton. They do chase. And you know what? You can get away with mistakes. Why? Because they're not going to beat you with the long ball. Plus, you're facing Jose Ramirez. Some of those at-bats against Ramirez where he was on the attack a little bit more. He's been slumping. So I think the opponent helps as well. And you mentioned, and just to your point in regards to something clicking, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you have to look at this and say, and you calculate how many outings I have, number one. And number two, when you do get an opportunity to just throw a split inside the strike zone and not worry about the consequences, throw that slider inside the strike zone and see what kind of reaction you get 60 feet. An iPad can tell you so much what you get reaction-wise and what that does to your confidence and making all this stuff click, because it's all the stuff-wise is all there for Bryce Miller. But it has to click, man. It has to be that little sequence you put together against the tough part of the lineup. It has to be that, runner on first and you get that weak ground ball to get you out of an inning. So I'm okay. I can get out of this inning in 12 pitches. It's not going to take me 20 pitches every time out. So it's really huge, but I think his mindset right now, easier said than done, is, you know what, I got a month. I'm going to salvage this lost year and just empty the tank with everything I got for these last handful of starts.
Ryan, what are you seeing out of Luis Castillo? Because it was, he was nails in July, 2.05 ERA for the month of July through 5 starts. Yeah. Then you look at August, 6.66 ERA. He's had 3 duds in a row, 4 out of 5. He had 1 good start against Tampa Bay, so maybe that's a good thing for tonight. But he's given up 14 earned runs in the last 3 games combined. And you see the velo's down a little bit. The command doesn't seem to be there. He's catching the fat part of the play. What is it that you're seeing from him?
Well, I'm saying exactly that. Velocity's down a little bit, and he's catching the fat part of the play, just like you said. Now, what happens is, too, when you are used to being 96, 97, and you used to seeing that reaction like I talked about, Bryce Miller 60 feet away, and then all of a sudden you throw a pitch in the middle of the plate, and they're just whack straight on it, and you glance up, you're like, man, 93, 94, what do you try and do? You try and reach back for that 96, and for whatever reason, because he's not, otherwise he'd be on the IL right now if there's something structurally wrong. But for whatever reason, you don't get the same result when you're reaching back to go get it. And then what do? Guess what? That 0-1 count turns into a 1-0 count all of a sudden. Then it's 2-1 because you start spraying that fastball a little bit, or you go to that slider and you're not getting that bite with it, and it's 2-0, 2-1 all of a sudden. And if you live in these counts when you're behind in the count like that, it does, unless you throw 105, it doesn't matter. I mean, the same thing, Aroldis Chapman. I was just looking into what has been the resurgence for him. The stuff's the same, but look at the time, the amount of time he has spent on the mound when he's ahead in the count is drastically different to the last couple of years. It doesn't matter if you're throwing 92, 93, or if you're throwing 103. It's all the same, right? And the Mariners preach that. But I think with Luis Castillo, it's a confidence issue. You watch him in between pitches tonight. Watch that demeanor. Anyone listening right now, if you're really paying attention, because if I was on the call tonight, I'd be just honing in on what kind of reaction, what kind of body language is he showing in between pitches. Because as cool as he is, and as stoic as he is, or he can give that smirk like he's under complete control, the exact opposite when things aren't going his way, you can see him all of a sudden start to second guess a little bit. So pay attention to that early with Luis Castillo, because I feel like he's really sort of feeling that 2-0, 2-1 mistake, because he's living in those counts, because he's trying to do a little bit too much, because for some reason, he's not getting that 97 with run at the top of the strike zone that runs back in on the hands to some of these righties. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, just like I said with Bryce Miller, if you have a team that you just had a really good outing against, and you feel like you're going to get a little bit more chase or something, they're going to play into your hands, maybe that's a good thing. So we'll see how he goes, because he was really good against Tampa last time out.
Ryan, I'm guessing as a pitcher that you're against hitters throwing baseball bats at you. So I know you're probably a little biased.
He's pro
there.
bat. He likes that.
But yeah, what'd you think of Robles? The suspension got knocked down to 7, and then is it fair to expect a little boost from him? I mean, he seems like he's one of those guys that brings a lot of energy to the team.
I think I said to you guys, I said I would guess 8 games if on a good if the players union, if his agency's good at their job, because that went viral all over social media. So when I saw 7 games, I was a little shocked. I'm not going to lie, because look, Major League Baseball, and I get it. I essentially work for them. When they have an instance like that with a bat getting thrown out, and they're trying to get that younger crowd, and everything else, you have to make an example out of that player. So I was kind of shocked, even when I saw the 7 games. Someone said, "Oh, they should knock it down to 5." I was like, no chance. So that was huge, man. For the Mariners, that was massive. It was awesome, the fact they knocked it down to 7. Because, look, I really think Robles, the first couple games back, wasn't like he went 4 for 4 every game, but he was hitting balls hard. He was being aggressive. Whether he was making mistakes or not, we saw a little bit of that in the last year too. Or he didn't there was some sort of non-execution happen as well. He is just that energy that, man, when he's on the bases, when he's rounding bases, when he's at the dish, he just has that extra little bit of jolt. I'd love to see him if he can get to a place, and if Dan Wilson can put him back at the top of the lineup. As good as Randy Arozarena is having a career year, by the way. I think we can't take that for granted. But I think that if Randy can somehow get shuffled out of that leadoff spot, because it's been a bit of hit or miss with him with that leadoff spot, and you can get a Robles back there, eventually, if he can prove, not prove, but if he show that he's back to full speed, and he's hitting the ball well, and he's having, good competitive at-bats, even though he's going to swing at every pitch. But if he's showing that he can be a force at the top of the lineup and be an absolute menace on base, I'd love to see him back at the top of the lineup. Now, if not, and he's down at the bottom of the lineup or 7th, 8th, or hit 9th like he did a couple times, fair enough. But, yeah, I think it's going to be huge. And, again, a little surprised it got down to 7 games, but that's huge for this team because, man, they just don't have many games left. They really don't.
So, Ryan, the Mariners make some roster moves, and they call up Harry Ford along with Luke Jackson and Leo Rivas, Ren Loud, DFA, Donovan Solano released from the roster. But Harry Ford is the talking point of all of this, despite Dave's insistence on talking about Donovan Solano. We just can't do it. But, no, Harry Ford, we were talking it through, going, okay, well, how is he going to be used? How often is he going to be used? And more importantly, if you're one of those starters, do you want Harry with 25 games to go? This doesn't feel like the right time to throw him behind the dish unless there's already some pre-established comfort with the rotation and how he calls a game and just that level of familiarity. So we're trying to figure out, all right, is he just going to be primarily a DH, and then does that impact Polanco, or Cole Young's going to sit more because Polanco will be in second, or how do you see it playing out with Harry Ford?
I think his role is going to be a couple of things. Number one, get him some at-bats. Get him in the batter's box. Because, look, he put up really good numbers in AAA. He's hitting 283 on base, around 400. So he's proven he's done that the last couple of years. Get him some at-bats. Now, you mentioned getting him behind the plate with this many games left to learn some of the sequencing that these guys like to use, to learn, some of the tendencies with 2 strikes, to learn even how to receive. This is not an easy rotation. It's not an easy bullpen to receive when it's loud and you're in front of, not it's Steinbrenner Field, but when you're in front of 40,000 people. You can't do that at this point in the season when you're in a pennant race. You just can't. So could I see him behind the dish? If he gets a start, maybe. But that's not going to be the factor. He's here purely to get him around the team, see how he interacts, right? Come off the bench, have some at-bats, maybe DH a little bit, give some guys a spell, whatever it may be. If Polanco's going to, slide into second base, or JP needs a spell and you slide Cole Young over, and just see how he interacts. I think it's time. I think it's good to see Harry Ford. I don't see him being a priority behind the plate. I don't think they can have the luxury to do that. But then again, man, look, going to 2026, if you have a situation where you're looking at Cal saying, man, he just hit 50-plus home runs, might even hit 60, who knows? And you look at that and go, all right, Cal, look, you're amazing behind the plate. But look, man, look what you're doing offensively, and you can still play a massive role even the days you're not behind the plate. Maybe it's a situation where Harry Ford comes up and they give him some reps at first base and behind the dish, and they rotate him back and forth, or he DHs and gives Cal a little bit more off his legs, because we know that's going to catch up to Cal Raleigh at some point. So I love the fact that Harry Ford's here. I don't love the fact that he's not going to get that true opportunity to really figure out these pitches in the month of September. It's just not going to happen. You want him to have that leeway. However, it's time, man. He has proven he's earned it. He's proven he should be here. He's going to be a really good player. He's a good clubhouse guy. He's a great kid. So I'm really, really happy for him. By the way, hey, listen, one other thing on that too. Look, from everyone I've spoken to who have played with him, he keeps his mouth shut about the whole thing. Oh, why don't I get traded? Why does my agent get me a trade, or blah, blah, all this crap that sometimes these young prospects carry on with when they have no position to do that. It happens all the time. I mean, I'm not going to name names here, but there's one kid who was with another team who I know, and he's texting me saying, oh, yeah, I told my agent to force this and that. I'm like, bro, you've got like 2 weeks in the big leagues. Like, are you kidding? Harry Ford didn't do any of that, and he easily could have. And he didn't. And kept his mouth shut. Here he is. He's earned it, so I'm happy for him.
Yeah, that's cool. We were saying he's a nice guy, and our listeners don't like that because they don't care. But it does matter,
Well, they will like him. They will like him when he's on bases over 400 and he's hitting balls in the right center gap. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, today Edward Bizzardo turns 30. I saw in the Mariner notes. Was that? I know you played into your early 30s. Was that like a death sentence in Major League Baseball? Because it was in the NFL. It was like, if you're 30, man, you're like a grandpa, pretty much. Is that the case in MLB?
Baseball's that age. I think it's 35. I think I'd call baseball 35. Now, I say that because, by the way, I've just spent the last hour and a half. I'm doing a breakdown, MLB Central tomorrow, on Aroldis Chapman about what he's doing this year. That's why I mentioned him earlier. I've just been spending an hour and a half filling this breakdown up. But the thing is, he's 37, Chapman, for example. Everyone's like, yeah, but baseball, you can play till you're 40. No. You have to be in, like, elite physical condition at all times to play into your late 40s. Or you have to have a little boost from something else, right? Or you have to just hit absolute tanks. You have to be the best of the best. And so for myself, Bizzardo, get to 30, man, the clock's ticking, dude. You better be one of the dudes at that point, and you better keep putting up numbers because they'll straight away, the minute the glass is half empty, you get to 31, 32. I'm telling you right now, man, look at his age. You have to be elite, man. Once you get to 35, you have to be elite. But that 35 is the age. Nothing like football. It's like, you know, the lifespan of a football player, as you know, is a lot shorter than a baseball player. But you got to be good, though. You got to be really, really good.
Yeah, Ryan, you're really, really good, man. We appreciate you. What are you laughing at?
Why do you laugh when he says that?
I'm laughing. I feel like I was ripping some young prospects earlier on. I didn't mean to. I enjoy this conversation. I'm out here in New Jersey on my own. I'm missing my Maryland people. You know, I'm stuck out here right now at the moment. But it was great to chat to you guys.
Always great stuff, man. We appreciate you. We'll do it again next week.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
There he is, Ryan Rowland-Smith, with us each and every week. Our weekly conversations with Ryan Rowland-Smith are presented by Mazda of Everett. I like how he cracks himself up.
He sounds lonely out there. He's like, I'm missing my Mariner guys.
Yeah, he's out there. Well, he's big time right now. He's doing MLB Network, and you know he's saying he's highfalutin. So we're lucky to get him on the phone.
You know, they might offer him a job, man. He does a great job when he goes out there, and I know everybody loves Ryan, of course. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens for this young man.
I like how he says, yeah, I'm up here ripping some young prospect.
Was that kind of surprising to you that there are like these young guys that they haven't busted a grape in Major League Baseball, and they're complaining about, you know, all this, you know, money and contracts and things like that?
I wish it was surprising, Dave, but it really isn't, because we talk about it all the time. The sense of entitlement, the sense of, you know, I mean, geez, even at the college level with what's going on with some of these, you know, some of these NIL deals being signed and being turned down because it's not enough money, and just, yeah. So long answer, no, I'm not surprised, unfortunately. And I'm glad Harry Ford is the exception to that rule, it feels like these days, because he is a very grounded young man, and seems, you know, the fact that he could look at it like we all do, like, well, what is his path? How is he going to get time? How's he, you know, his path is blocked. Cal Raleigh is the future. He's the present and the future at that spot. So he could very easily be down there going, well, what does that mean for me? What about me? But he seems, by all accounts, as Ryan just said, talking to people, that he's not that guy. He's just rolling with it. He's just doing his thing, putting up numbers, and earned his way up with the big club, and excited to see him. So, yeah, we'll see how they use him, and if he does get behind the plate at all, or if it's strictly as DH, I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, and I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does. But, you know, and real quick, him and Cal, kind of the same. You know, maybe it's something about the catchers that they're very low-key.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, we got game one coming up. Our thanks to Ryan Rowland-Smith. If you missed any part of the show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Wyman and Bob.
Jordan Schusterman, every Wednesday morning at 11 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports.
What's your optimism when it comes to guys with the ball in their hand, the pitchers on the mound?
You're on it in terms of what is the biggest concern. You now have an offense that can come back, and so it feels a little bit more frustrating to maybe use your lower leverage guys in games where you feel like you're back in it, but at the same time, you understand that you can't just throw Brash and Munoz every day, and even if you do, it's not always going to work out that easily.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain, and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
From the roof to the deck, the siding to the gutters, and energy-efficient windows, State Roofing and Exteriors is your one-stop shop for home protection. With over 55 years serving Western Washington, we don't just work here, we live here. We know what your home is up against when the cold sets in and the rain starts falling. Right now, we're making it easier than ever to get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bail Arm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bailarm.com today.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. The best place to watch all your favorite sports. Featuring wall-to-wall viewing screens, 6 windows, and 30 kiosks. Be there at emeraldqueen.com. Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Construction. You know, it was a couple years ago. We were seeking a complete outdoor living space. Molly wanted a new deck. She wanted to really make our outdoor space pop. And boy, am I glad we called PCF. Why? Because whether it's a very specific project or outdoor living, like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you completely covered. You know, Molly's an interior designer. She knows construction. She knows attention to detail. And PCF, they checked every single box along the way. And right now is the time to make the call. Up to $6,000 off your project, plus no payments and no interest until 2027. And you can save an extra $1,500 when you bundle your deck with a patio cover. Find all the offer details, get project ideas, and browse photos at pcfgroup.com or simply call today at 425-629-8476. That's 425-629-8476, PCF Group. TeamMobile.com.
Hey, baseball fans, T-Mobile is turning up the excitement with the Grand Slam giveaway. Want to score 4 premium tickets to an upcoming professional baseball game? This is your shot to experience the action like a VIP. Stop by your nearest T-Mobile experience store and enter for your chance to win. While you're there, check out all the amazing deals and perks waiting for you with T-Mobile, your hometown network. Don't strike out. The Grand Slam giveaway won't last forever. Visit your local T-Mobile experience store today for your chance to win 4 premium professional baseball tickets.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. The Seattle Mariners pregame show is on.
Back she goes, going and going. Goodbye, baseball, he did it! Julio Rodriguez.
Mariners pregame is brought to you by the new Chevy Trax, Beacon Plumbing, and Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Seattle Mariners pregame, the countdown to first pitch.
Things for you tonight. We got a September call-up. We have got the Mariners in a chase right now, and we've got the opening game of a 3-game series against the Rays here in Tampa. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Mariners pregame show. Shannon Dreyer coming to you live from the Western Washington Toyota broadcast booth, which is found today at George M. Steinbrenner Field off the Dale Mabry Parkway here in Tampa, Florida. Yes, the home of the Yankees in the spring is the home of the Tampa Rays for the regular season. They had a little roof problem with a little bit of rain and a storm. Everything is going well. It should all be good to go hopefully for next season. But right now, this indeed is their home, and a different home it is. You look out at the field, you see the 314 down the right field line and realize, hey, that's kind of familiar. Well, yes, because that's the same dimension as Yankee Stadium. In fact, the dimensions of this field are the same as Yankee Stadium. So perhaps a little bit of strange familiarity for the Mariners. That won't so much be their focus. They got a lot going on right now. They come into the game with a record of 73-64. Astros have already played and won today, so the Mariners are 2.5 out right now for the time being. As for Tampa at 67-69, they are 5.5 out of the final wild card spot, which is held by the Mariners. So a little bit of intrigue there on their end. Mariners got their head down. They just want to win this series, perhaps come up with a sweep if they have an opportunity. Let's just get game one to start. Of course, the big news today, we had some big roster moves. September call-ups were made, and then a little bit extra. Of course, the big news, Harry Ford, the Mariners' #1 pick, number 12 overall in the 2021 draft, is up with the Mariners, and this time most likely to stay. He was up for the shortest amount of time, did not get into the game, but this time he is good to go. So we will see how he is worked in. And Dan Wilson talked a little bit about that. We'll talk about that and hear a little bit about that as the show goes on. But a lot of excitement for Harry Ford, who has just made great progress throughout the minor leagues and appears to be very much ready for this moment. And of course, when these moments come for him over the next month. Also up, Luke Jackson, who was signed by the Mariners on August 21st. He's got some big league experience. He has got some postseason experience. He will be available out of the pen tonight. Leo Rivas also back with the big club right now, and he will give Dan Wilson all sorts of flexibility and the chance to give days off to J.P. Crawford and Gino Suarez if needed. In order to make room on the roster for these three, Donovan Solano was released from the roster. Soren Lau was designated for assignment, and then of course they have an extra spot because teams can call up 2 today. Mariners only get 1 for now because Victor Robles is suspended. So that is what we have got here in Tampa. As for a lineup, Let's go ahead and get to it. Randy Arozarena, who might be the most popular man in this ballpark tonight. He's been saying hello to everyone. Just an absolute huge crush of media to see him, to talk to him, and the fans. I cannot even begin to think about how many baseballs he's going to throw into the fans or into the crowd tonight. He's very excited to be back in what was his home for a long time. He's leading off in left field, and perhaps he'll have that flair for the dramatic as well. We shall see. Cal Raleigh follows. He'll be behind the plate catching Luis Castillo tonight. Julio Rodriguez in center. Josh Naylor will be your cleanup hitter and playing first base. Gino Suarez at third. Jorge Polanco, the DH tonight. Dom Canzone in right field. J.P. Crawford at short. And rounding out the 9 at second base is Cole Young. Hopefully the bullpen has got a little bit of extra rest right now and doing okay. It was great to see how they were deployed yesterday. Your leverage arms came out and did just fine. Again, you've got a new arm in the pen, and you've also got some backup in the field, as well as the versatility of Harry Ford. We will just go ahead and call that the Health Report, which is powered by Virginia Mason Franciscan Health, the sports medicine provider of the Seattle Mariners. We've got a great show planned for you from Steinbrenner Field. A first time for all of us being here, first time for the Mariners being here. Coming up on the roundtable, we'll talk a little bit about that and the significance of the moves today. On the Mariners Clubhouse Insider, we'll visit with Assistant General Manager Andy McKay, who I think can probably give us the goods on Harry Ford. He spent a lot of time with him and a lot of time in the development of Harry Ford. That'll come up in about 25 minutes. We'll have all the usuals as well. Picks to click, check out what is going on around the rest of baseball. But coming up next, Gary Hill sits down with the skipper. We are just getting started here. Stick around. You're listening to us on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
$195 million. Global Credit Union members saved $195 million last year through lower fees and better interest rates. At Global, member service is our highest priority. 27 branches throughout Washington, an easy-to-use mobile app, and access to a member service rep wherever you are and whenever you need help. 24/7, 365 days a year. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, proud partners of Seattle Mariners Radio.
Nothing says Mariners baseball like the sounds of the game. And nothing prepares you for game day like AM/PM. From ice-cold drinks to hot, tasty snacks, it's the perfect play for Mariners fans on the go. As a proud partner of the Mariners, AM/PM is here to keep you ready for every big play, every home run, and every extra inning snack run. So before first pitch or after a big win, swing by AM/PM, where the lineup is always delicious. AM/PM, too much good stuff.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are kicking off their next homestand with a 3-day Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway against the Cardinals, September 8th to 10th. Plus, don't miss the final Mariners fireworks night of the season, September 12th against the Angels, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
This is Mariners baseball. The countdown to first pitch continues with the Dan Wilson Show.
Alongside Dan Wilson. Dan, big news today. Harry Ford gets his call to the major leagues. And you were there from the beginning, from the time he first stepped into the Mariners organization. Where have you seen the most growth from Harry Ford from the time he entered the system till now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been, huge amount of growth in all aspects of the game, and I think it's a huge credit to our organization and the people that we have instructing and our player development group. And just all along the chain, so to speak. But Harry came to us as a out of high school and was very raw. I know Tony Arnerich was the catching coordinator at the time and was really working with him, on his receiving and doing a lot of work there, and that seemed to come pretty quickly. And I know C.J. Gilman on the hitting side has been able to work with a lot of the things mechanically with his swing and the mindset as well, and he's taken to that, and I credit the crew in Tacoma as well. John Russell doing a great job with Harry, a former catcher and being able to kind of help his development there and at the highest level outside of the big leagues. And it's been a real big group effort, and I think that the biggest change for Harry is just been in his mindset and where he is mentally and the confidence that he's gained. This is a big step for him this year, and coming out of spring training, you saw it blossoming, and he just continued it on into Tacoma, and it's been a great year, and now here he is in the big leagues.
It's great to have that flexibility with a third catcher, and he has a really unique skill set, unlike a lot of catchers as well. How do you anticipate using him in this final month?
Yeah, as you mentioned, it does give you a lot more flexibility, in terms of pinch hitting and using your three catchers. You don't want to leave yourself without a catcher in the game, and when there's an injury, yes. It does leave you a little, bare back there. But again, with Harry here and Garv and the way he's swung the bat, it does give you a lot of options, and so we will continue to balance that and use both of them as we go forward. And again, really looking forward to being able to do that, have that flexibility, and also to see Harry be able to take a major league field for the first time.
A different experience tonight for you in Tampa, and actually this is the third new ballpark that the Mariners have seen this year, which is quite unusual. What's the process when your team goes to a new place, a place that most of you, maybe some guys have played some spring training games here back in the day, but most of you have never been before? Yeah, it is a different experience, and we did go through it in Sacramento for sure this year, and it's just a matter of getting out here and taking the ground balls if you're an infielder, seeing how the grass plays, seeing how the infield plays, taking BP here to see how the ball, flight is, how it feels coming off the bat. Outfielders getting a chance to shag in batting practice and understand what the ball does, how it carries, where it carries, and just getting a general feel for this ballpark. It's. We've been through this before. These guys have been to different ballparks their whole career, but it will definitely be something that we adjust to, and you got to adjust to the temperature here a little bit too. It's a little bit warmer than it's been, and that is also part of the adjustment. But these guys do it, and they do it so well, and that's a big part of baseball is making those adjustments. All right, thanks a lot, Skip. Good luck tonight, Gary. Always a pleasure. Mariners manager Dan Wilson.
And it is warm, and there are clouds out there, but I don't believe there's any precipitation that is expected tonight. And I did think, and Rick probably remembers this, the last time the Mariners played in 3 new parks was all the way back in 2005. And talk about one beauty and two, They played in Petco Park in San Diego, Dolphins Stadium in Miami Gardens, and RFK Stadium in Washington. It's remarkable we survived.
Yeah, really, and what you have to do, you got to rely on Chris Negron, the outfield coach, to get those guys in the outfield. Let's see how the outfield plays, especially the corners. And Perry Hill, you got to get those infielders out there, see how the infield reacts. So they got to do it right away, and they did. They were out there early this afternoon. Yep,
they got their work in, and now the grounds crew is out there doing their work, and we are looking forward to a ball game in just about 50 minutes. Coming up next, we're going to roundtable the news of the day and also take a look at where the Mariners are and kind of the fortunes, the ups and the downs of what September baseball can bring. We've already had some of it today. All of that will come up as the pregame show, which is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest, continues.
Chevy trucks have you covered when the road takes you from smooth sailing to Chevy Colorado will eat up some of the toughest terrains with 5 available drive modes. And Silverado and Silverado HD have the muscle to take you out for some serious with multiple engine options and impressive towing. While Silverado EV is the perfect combo of performance and capability, making it a snap to hitch up this electric truck and hit the road. Wherever the road leads, Chevy trucks are right there with you. See your Northwest Chevy dealer.
Add Home Street Bank to your lineup card this season. Whether you're starting a family, buying a home, or nurturing a growing business, they'll help you navigate life's biggest milestones. And they've been doing it with a smile for over 100 years. Look no further than Home Street Bank for all of your home loan, personal, and business banking needs. Go to homestreet.com/team. Again, that's homestreet.com/team. Member FDIC, equal housing lender, all loans subject to approval.
Are you ready to hit a home run with your shopping? Well, look no further than the Fred Meyer Mariners Rewards Program. It's your ticket to win big while you shop. Here's how it works. For every $1 you spend on participating products like Hempler's Bacon and Sun Cruiser, you earn Fred Meyer Mariners Rewards points. Redeem your points all season long for game tickets, T-Mobile Park Concert Series tickets, exclusive merch, and more. Accumulate and redeem these Fred Meyer Mariners Rewards points from April 23rd, 2025 through October 1st, 2025. Participating products are identified with Mariners-themed signs and tags throughout the store. Terms and conditions apply.
In the Pacific Northwest, there's one construction equipment rental provider of choice, Star Rentals. The Star Rentals team delivers superior customer service by leading with a culture of care and delivering unmatched follow-through across all 18 Star Rentals locations. Star Rentals is the largest independent construction equipment rental company in the Pacific Northwest, delivering quality care because they care. Learn more at starrentals.com. Star Rentals, the preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Hey Mariners fans, Dan Wilson here with a reminder to make a play for your health with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. They are the trusted sports medicine provider for our team and for our fans. So if you're a current, retired, or even a casual athlete, having the right medical team behind you can make all the difference. Stay on top of your game. Visit vmfh.org/Mariners and find a sports medicine specialist today.
T-Mobile is more than the best network in the game. They're now the best network in America, according to the experts at Ookla Speed Test. So MLB fans are connected from home to home plate. With the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and a signal that goes farther than ever, you can keep up with your teams on the road, overseas, and even off the grid. For baseball fans, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H2025, compatible device and plan required for T-Satellite. See details at T-Mobile.com.
Looking for high-quality assisted living that won't drain your life savings? At Care Partners Living, we offer compassionate care at a price that helps stretch and preserve your estate. No unnecessary luxury, just the support you need with dignity and heart. And if you ever need to convert to Medicaid, you don't have to move. With communities across Washington and Arizona, including new locations in Port Orchard, Sumner, Mercer Island, and North Creek Bothell, there's a Care Partners community near you. Care Partners Living, compassionate care and peace of mind. Visit carepartnersliving.com.
Cap off your summer with an incredible night at the ballpark.
Holy smokes, what a firecracker! Way back into the upper deck. What a year for the Big Dumper.
The final Mariners fireworks night of the season is coming up Friday, September 12th, presented by T-Mobile. Cal, Raleigh, and the crew are taking on the Angels in a divisional showdown at 7:10. And after the final out, we'll be lighting up the sky with a dazzling post-game display. Fireworks and Mariners baseball. That's two spectacular shows in one unforgettable night. Go to Mariners.com to lock in your seats today.
Mariners pregame continues with a roundtable.
Welcome back inside George M. Steinbrenner Field here in Tampa. It's time for the roundtable. It's going to be a cozy roundtable for 3 days this booth. I think we found the smallest. Maybe this is a little bit bigger than Sacramento, guys?
Definitely goes further back than Sacramento.
Yeah,
but you can't see anything in the back.
Yeah,
it's got walls.
It's cozy.
It's cozy. Definitely cozy.
What the heck?
It's not Williamsport. You're not shoulder to shoulder with the broadcasters next to you.
Huh. Yes.
All right. Well, good on the Yankees for providing it and letting, I heard that we knew that, obviously Tampa was going to play here, so they put in all the stuff that you need for a big league ballpark, and a lot of it is like what we do, the broadcast stuff and the lines and all the TV stuff. But I never thought about this, and I just read it today. Because the Yankees were here in spring training, they basically only had like 2 days to de-Yankee this place before
put up all the signs.
to put up all the signs, and there were like well over 1,000 different Tampa signs that were put up.
Wow.
About the only thing I found that they haven't been able to cover are on the edge of the seats on the aisles. There is the Yankee logo, and the only thing they were told not to touch was the Steinbrenner statue outside.
Which makes sense.
Sure.
Removing a statue seems like...
Well, that would be a little excessive. I mean, I suppose you could dress it up or something, but that would be very disrespectful. But they have the plaques. They've got their little, the Yankee Hall of Fame and whatnot out there. So there's, still just little touches of it, but it looks like they've made a functional ballpark.
And the Rays are grateful, too. As you drive into the ballpark, there's a big sign saying, Rays, Happy Rays. And then at the bottom it says, thank you, Yankees.
Oh.
For allowing them to play here for a year while they fix the roof at Tropicana Field because of Hurricane Milton that just shredded it. So they're going to be back there next year.
Okay. Well, they're looking forward to that. I'm kind of missing that place right now.
Yeah, me too.
You don't know what you have until it's gone, without question. This is a place where baseball needs to be played indoors. In the summer.
Because and that could be a factor in these 3 games. Like you just never know when a rainstorm is going to arrive, and of course it's hot, so all 3 are night games as well. So there are some challenges, of course, playing outdoors here.
And I think we're okay tonight. Everything looks fine tonight, and it looks like, as far as it goes, 10% chance tomorrow at 6 p.m. And it looks like what I was seeing on Wednesday, it's been pushed off to Thursday.
Oh,
so, you know, we could be okay. We could be okay, which would be great. And there's actually a breeze out there. I think it'll be a little bit more comfortable this evening than it was this afternoon for the players, who spent as much time as they possibly could inside a very cold, air-conditioned clubhouse before they went out there. And there are some new faces. So here we are. We're in September. We have the call-up. We have the help and a little bit of extra help on the bullpen. And we have the Mr. Everything, Leo Rivas. But Harry Ford,
how about that?
This time you don't let him go back.
Yeah, I'm so proud of this kid. You know, he was a first-round pick in 2021. As a matter of fact, the Mariners have all the first-round picks over the last 5 seasons here. This kid came out of high school with so much talent, and he was able to move from one level to another and handle it as one of the youngest players at each level. You know, in rookie ball, an A ball, high A ball, double A, and triple A this year. He hit well. An outstanding catcher, one of the best prospects in all the baseball. Mariners' 4th best prospect and number 40 in all of baseball. So it's great to see him here. And it gives Danny, you know, some flexibility now with Cal Raleigh, who's not going anywhere. He's one of the greatest players in the history of the game of baseball. But, you know, with Mitch Garver, now you have some flexibility to move in, Harry to help out if you have to make a change there. Luke Jackson, veteran guy, pitched in the World Series with the Braves. 3 outings out of Tacoma. Was in the World Series with Atlanta in 2021. Gives you, you know, a guy that's been there and done it. And, you know, Leo's back. And this kid just plays his heart out every night. So they're really going to help out here in the last 25 games of the regular season.
They have more flexibility now, and I think the roster is more functionable from day to day. There's more options, I guess is how I think about it, especially when Robles comes back. Like there are some pinch hitting options, some pinch running options. You can make some moves late in a ball game to try and get a win, where it was kind of tough with how their roster was currently situated. Because now Rivas can cover you in some spots, and you have a third catcher. And Ford has a really interesting skill set as that most third catchers don't have. Like we could see him pinch running in a ball game, which is really unique for a catcher. Or, you know, maybe he pinch hits against a lefty, not for Garver, like for somebody else. Like there are some interesting ways that they could use him down the stretch.
And this isn't a case where he's coming up to be the backup catcher. I think a lot of people were hoping for that. The backup catcher is Mitch Garver. He is the one who has got all the experience, and you have to do that for the pitchers.
There's a reasonable chance that Harry Ford won't start a game as catcher in this final month. Like he may not, depending on how this plays out and how close these games are. Like Mariners are trying to win every single game, and your point about the pitching staff is correct. He's going to play, but it may be late games mostly. So people should know what to expect here in this last month.
And spring training, I think, really helped him out, catching a lot of these guys, but it's spring training.
Right.
You know, that's a whole lot different right now, and you're the throes of a pennant race. So he's definitely going to help out. And with Leo, you finally can get JP off his feet for at least a little while. This guy plays every day. You got to give J.P. Crawford a little bit of a break somewhere down the stretch here in the next 25 games.
Yeah, I think that will help.
Oh, big time.
I think that'll help. So it's
the one thing about Ford is he actually ended up catching a lot of these guys on rehab assignments during the course of the year. So he's not totally unfamiliar. There is some of that, which is helpful. I mean, you don't want to send most of your staff to rehab assignments at some point during the season, but that's how it's played out.
Right.
So he does have some experience.
Yeah,
which
he
is
said
nice.
the only one that he hasn't caught yet is Ferguson, and that was there might be another. He was put on the spot when he walked by, and we kind of shouted it out to him. He came back. He caught George Kirby today in the bullpen, which he's caught before in spring training. But to Rick's point, yes, spring training very different than regular season in September when you are making a playoff push. But he will get all sorts of valuable knowledge, and there will be opportunities here and there, I am sure. Good round. roundtable, guys. Coming up next, it's so fantastic to look out there and see the number of homegrown Mariners. We're going to talk about that and a little bit more about Harry Ford with somebody who has seen him from every step of the way. Andy McKay joining us next as the pregame show continues on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
For 50 years, Michael's Toyota of Bellevue has been a dealership that you can count on. Service advisors that respect your time and your budget. Managers that support and empower employees to work for their customers. Not often seen, but a business office that ensures every part of buying your new car is seamless. From our family to yours. Thank you for 50 amazing years. Michael's Toyota of Bellevue, for the life you live.
When the hot water needs to be hot, when the drain needs to drain, when the toilet needs to flush, you need to do two things. Stop freaking and call Beacon. Beacon Plumbing, Heating, and Mechanical. On call and there when you need them most. 1-800-FREAKIN or beaconplumbing.net.
Rick Riz here with Keith Dashafee, a local owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. With your help and the Improve Your Play program, Pella has chosen a local youth athletic program to receive a $5,000 grant. Keith, who's the lucky winner this week?
Rick, we could not be more excited to announce Mount Baker Youth Baseball as one of 2 winners of this $5,000 grant.
Thanks to Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington for helping our local youth thrive.
Yahoo Baseball insider Jordan Schusterman.
I'm most interested to see how this rotation continues to evolve.
Every Wednesday morning at 11 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports. Listen live on 710 or get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Ready to earn 5 times points with Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines? Come to T-Mobile Park for Fly Away Fridays. Every Friday home game, use your Atmos Rewards Visa card at the park. And for every $1 spent on eligible purchases, you'll score 5 points in Atmos Rewards, a loyalty program by Alaska Airlines and Hawaiian Airlines. That's 5 times points to redeem towards flights across the One World Alliance to places like Sydney, Tokyo, Seoul, and next year, Rome. Learn more at atmosrewards.com/Mariners. Terms and conditions apply.
Over 16,000 people in the greater Seattle area are homeless. Carl is one of many who found a new life through Seattle's Union Gospel Mission.
Drugs and alcohol took control of my life. One night I was in jail and I prayed for something better, and God brought me to the mission. I was surrounded by counselors and mentors who wanted to see me get better. I'm a completely different person thanks to God and the mission.
And grace will lead me home.
Be inspired, volunteer, or donate at ugm.org.
What's better than a zero-turn mower? 0% financing for up to 60 months on your entire purchase. Rick Riz here for Steel, the preferred handheld outdoor power equipment provider of the Seattle Mariners. Take advantage of Steel's 0% financing and up to $1,000 in instant rebates on select zero-turn mowers. Get a comfortable ride and a perfect cut with Steel's American-made mowers. Start easier, work smarter, and finish faster with Steel. Find your local Steel dealer at steeldealers.com.
$195 million. Global Credit Union members saved $195 million last year through lower fees and better interest rates. At Global, member service is our highest priority. 27 branches throughout Washington, an easy-to-use mobile app, and access to a member service rep wherever you are and whenever you need help. 24/7, 365 days a year. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, proud partners of Seattle Mariners Radio.
Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota Renton have your next truck, so you can take the tailgate wherever you go. Their roster of 36-month leases on the Tacoma, leasing at $299 a month with $39.99 due at signing. The Tundra at 1.99% APR, leasing as low as $509 a month with $4,099 due at signing. And the Gas RAV4, leasing at just $299 a month with $39.99 due at signing. Whether you're in the north or the south, they got you covered. Visit ToyotaofKirkland.com and ToyotaRenton.com today and take the tailgate wherever you go. Offers valid through September 2nd, 2025. Excludes taxes, titles, license, dealer accessories, and $200 negotiable dealer documentation fee. Model 750-8361 and 4432.
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners. Mariners pregame. The countdown to first pitch continues. Now, here's Shannon Dreyer with your Mariners Clubhouse Insider.
Day in the Mariners Clubhouse Insider. It's all of us here when we saw the move today, and also always a good time to check in. And when you're looking at the Mariners and how many homegrown players we are seeing on this group, on this trip, You know we're going to get you if you're on the trip, Andy McKay. Yes. Andy McKay is joining us all on the Mariners Clubhouse Insider. And Andy, what do you keep your eye on a day like today?
You try to keep it, I don't want to say positive. I guess that's kind of an easy way to put it. But you just try to keep it normal when you know it's like the furthest thing from normal. And I was sitting with Cole Young and Harry, and I said, well, Cole, now that you're like the Grizzly veteran, and can you take Harry under your wing? And he goes, no, I'm not ready to take anybody under my wing yet. And I said, well, what are you going to tell him about his first at bat? And he goes, nothing, because I don't remember mine. I said, yeah, that's about how it goes. And but it's like I tell everybody, it's kind of like when your kids they're 16 and they pull out the driveway for the first time in the car by themselves.
Trust them.
Because here it is, Harry, and like, congratulations, you've worked you've done everything to accomplish this, and the reward is now you get to face the best pitching in the world every night. So it's not the greatest prize you've ever heard. Sliders and velocity at the top of the zone. But we're thrilled, and I was showing Harry the text thread with all of our minor league coordinators going back and forth of how excited they are, and it's a cool day for sure.
So many hands touch a player that comes through an organization.
You're not kidding. When he gets in the game, it's going to be his debut. I think it's going to be about 8 this year, I believe. How do you know? I mean, you watched him, come up as a high school kid in each different level. How do you know a young man is ready?
I don't know that you do. I think you take your best shot and you hope. But as we've all known, we've talked about it before, there's not a lot of guys who come up and stick. There's usually there's some failure. They go back down and they come back up, and it's such a big leap. And so you don't really know. But what you do know for sure is that he's absolutely earned this opportunity. He's gotten better every year. He's played at every level in our system and has gotten better each year he's done it. With just a phenomenal year in the Pacific Coast League as one of the youngest players. He might have become the youngest once Cole went up. So he's absolutely earned the opportunity to see what he can do. And it's hard to imagine, but you go through all this, and now the biggest test of your life is right now. This is not the time to think I've done it, because you've done nothing. And you're about to face the hardest thing you could ever imagine. But you look at the thousands of at-bats he's had and all the lessons that he's learned over the time, and I can tell you everybody is thrilled. Every player, everybody he's coached with, every player he's been around, they are thrilled, and they will be ecstatic when he gets in that batter's box for the first time.
Yeah, tied to that, and it's such an interesting time now as the calendar's turned to September. And as we all know, the Mariners are fighting it out for every win, trying to punch the ticket to the postseason. How do you think about, and Cole Young, too, he's been here for a while, but still he's trying to figure things out as well. How do you think about young players in this situation specifically?
There's some positives to it, and then there's some harder parts to it. Like, if you're out of it, it'd be really easy to play Harry 3 or 4 times a week and let him have a long leash and things like that. And that's just not going to happen in our scenario. So, what Harry's getting out of it is getting to be in a playoff chase, hopefully a long postseason run, and probably doing more watching than playing initially, but knowing that at that position, you're a foul tip away from having some action. And with his skill set, he could easily be pinch running tonight, in a tie game. So he's got a lot of avenues to impact the game. But the biggest thing, he's going to come up into the middle of a playoff chase where we still think we can win the West and get to the World Series, and he gets to be a part of that and learn from it. And that's hugely valuable, which is different than maybe how Julio came up, where there was a big runway for him and things like that. And so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And but Dan will find ways to get him in there, I'm sure.
We are visiting with Assistant General Manager Andy McKay, and we're not too far separated, but more and more so from the rookies can be seen but not heard, separate buses and everything else. And you wince when you say that. It's hard to believe that's how it was. You were all on the same team, and the guys finally figured that out. But now, I mean, how instrumental and what do you look for in teammates when you look for, we've seen J.P. Crawford do so much with both Cole Young and Ben Williamson when he was up. Cal Raleigh's going to have a shadow now. What do you look for from the guys who are on the team when these young guys come up?
A lot of it's organic and informal, and other times you're actually talking to some of older veteran players about, hey, are we all lined up here? Who's going to kind of take ownership of this and help out? And obviously we just, as you know, we have 26 great guys in that clubhouse that are all willing to help in any way. And so it can be as simple as, and like you said, it's really evolved. It used to just be flat hazing. That doesn't exist anymore. It's way more mentoring at this point and encouragement. But, it can be anything from, where's the training room? What time should Harry Ford be getting his treatment in the training room compared to Randy or Cal, and your pregame batting practice in the cage? Where does he fit in? And not just let him stand there and figure it out on his own, but just tell him and give him that advice. And which bus should he be on? And things, all of those things that are, Jerry and I were laughing this morning. Is like Harry walks out for his debut in a minor league ballpark, which might make it a little bit easier for him. But no, you just try to formalize that process and making sure that, with both, Cal and Garv, that they got to get themselves ready to compete, but they all had people do it to them. They all had people that helped them. Yeah. And it's just part of the game. It's part of the great tradition of our game and how it gets passed down. And anything that Cal Raleigh is going to offer Harry or Logan is going to mean so much more than anything I'm going to tell him at this point, or even Dan, to be honest with you. So our group is really good about it, and it's one of the reasons why we are confident we bring guys up, that it's going to be a very welcoming and encouraging atmosphere for them from our veteran players.
Oh, it's going to be both exciting and fun to watch. Andy, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Andy.
That is Assistant General Manager Andy McKay. Always so grateful to have time with him whenever we see him on the road. That was also the Mariners Clubhouse Insider. The Mariners pregame show is brought to you by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Coming up next, it's that time. Pick 'em and click 'em as the pregame show continues on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
At Fred Meyer, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Fred Meyer shoppers. You never compromise. Fred Meyer. Fresh for everyone.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, I'm Rick Riz. It's time to honor another Teacher of the Week with a $500 classroom grant, courtesy of your local credit union, WSECU.
This week's Teacher of the Week is Crystal Merrill from Soap Lake Elementary. Congratulations, and thank you to WSECU for honoring this year's Teacher of the Week recipients.
Great teachers truly inspire. To see this year's Teachers of the Week, visit mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Our team is playing for something big, and you can too. Legends Casino Hotel offers Summer High Hand Special, Wednesday through Saturday. $200 every hour, all night long. On Thursday nights, Cosmic Cash means a cash prize winner every hour. Check out legendscasino.com for full promotion rules. Come for the entertainment and stay for the spacious, relaxing rooms and brand new Sage Spa. Make the drive while listening to the game. Your new favorite road trip. Legends Casino Hotel, within winning distance.
Gary Hill for my friends at Fireside Home Solutions. We've worked with Fireside to replace 2 of the fireplaces in our home, and we couldn't be happier. Whether it's a gas insert, wood, or pellet fireplace, Fireside has the model to fit your home and budget. It's not just fireplaces, too. They do it all. Garage doors, outdoor barbecues, a great time of the year for that. Just give them a call for a free in-home consultation. They're so easy to work with. See them in Portland, Auburn, Spokane, Bellevue, or firesidehomesolutions.com.
Hey Mariners fans, Dan Wilson here with a reminder to make a play for your health with Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. They're the trusted orthopedics partner for our team and for our fans. If you're a current, retired, or even a casual athlete, having the right orthopedics team behind you can make all the difference. So stay on top of your game. Visit vmfh.org/Mariners and find an orthopedic specialist